as wrestling fans, we all know the WWE Hall of Fame isn't an actual thing that you can go and visit. It's kind of hard to explain to non-wrestling fans that the WWE Hall of Fame is just spoken of and not yet an actual thing. I know it's been discussed and stuff like that, but I've heard Triple H say in the past it is not currently a priority for the WWE, which sucks. I know we have WrestleMania access, but as of right now, it is not yet a priority to have an actual substantial Hall of Fame, much like the basketball, baseball, or even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, there is a legitimate Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame that a lot of people just do not know about, and for anyone in the Northeast area, I highly suggest going to check it out. It is entitled the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. It is in Amsterdam, New York. Not in Amsterdam, I think it is in Amsterdam, but I saw it was in like Schenectady or something like that, New York, but it is actually in Amsterdam. I don't know how far away it is from New York City, but it is in New York, so there is a legitimate Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So with that being said, I had first heard about it in maybe 2009, 2010. I don't know how I first heard about it. I think I just did some researching, and I just came across and had heard that there was a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and it wasn't much further from where I live. It's about a 2-hour drive from Connecticut from where I live. But I mean, it's not like it's in California or something where it's completely out of the question to go even visit there. And we do go to New York every once in a while to go camping and whatnot, so I figured if we were going to take a road trip up to New York, we might as well go there while we were there in New York in the area to go check it out. So for a number of times in 2009 and 2010, we never really got around to going, which sucked. It was always on my bucket list, though, to go and check it out. So we eventually did go camping in July of 2011. In August of 2011. We went to go check it out. We were in Saugerties, New York. It took about an hour drive from where we were camping, the campsite, to go out to Amsterdam, New York, to go check out the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So I go there thinking it's going to be some grand thing, like a big building. Like I've been to the basketball, I've been to the baseball Hall of Fame. I've been to both of those Hall of Fames. And seeing how grand and how big of buildings those are, I figured we'd be coming across something similar for the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Yet we get there, and this is in a deserted part of town, in a town where it looks like no one's living, no one's around, no one's walking around the neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood, it looks like a city, but there was no one around, a lot of abandoned stores and stuff like that. So it looks like we're in the middle of nowhere. It's just a building just around the corner. It's literally just like you rent out a space, and they just had a lot of wrestling memorabilia in it. They had the first floor and the second floor, and that was it. It was smaller than what I expected it to be, but in comparison to some other Hall of Fames out there, it was pretty decent size compared to some buildings that you might have been in. But compared to what I was thinking initially, it was smaller, but it had so much content and it had so much stuff in it. We go in there, we have our money ready, expecting to pay, much like with the other Hall of Fames that we've been to, and it's free. All they ask is for donations. They have a little ring next to the door asking for donations on your way out. Any donations are appreciated. So, of course, we drop some money in there on the way out. But you go in. It's free for one thing. You just walk right in and go walk around. You can go upstairs. There is just so much wrestling history. And let me stress that if the WWE was ever to make a Hall of Fame, and I don't know if they would ever include stuff from the promotions that they bought out over the years, like stuff before. I know they would include stuff from like ECW and WCW and, of course, the WWE, WWF. I don't know if they would ever include stuff from like the South and Mid-South promotions that they've bought out over the last 20, 30 years. I have no idea if they would ever do that. If they were to create a WWE Hall of Fame. And if they did, it would make no sense because it's labeled the WWE Hall of Fame, not the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and not the Sports Entertainment Hall of Fame or whatever the fuck they want to call it. But with that being said, though, this is a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So they got all the WWE stuff, and not just in-ring gear and stuff like that. They have toys, they have everything, all the collectibles, the posters, signed pictures from people that were there, from Batista, John Cena, far before they ever became famous. Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior. They had a whole collection of stuff for The Ultimate Warrior when I was there last. But it was so cool. And they also have their own Hall of Fame ceremony every year, too. We signed up for the newsletter, and we get emails about every year or so in the early part of the year, asking, not asking if we want to go, but advertising for the Hall of Fame. And they always induct someone from each era, which is also very, very cool. They sold that in one of the t-shirts, and my brother ended up getting one. And I don't have that t-shirt. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt, and I'll show it at the end of the video. But that was from the second time that we went. I'll get to that in a second. But they have their own Hall of Fame with the pictures of everyone they've inducted over the years. When it started, I can't exactly remember, but it's really, really cool. It's legitimate. There's no politics, no bullshit like that, like with the WWE. Randy Savage was, I think, inducted in like 2007. They hold the Hall of Fame, I think, in either the first or second weekend in May every single year. They fly out all the people or most of the people that they induct every year. So that's pretty cool. They have a few matches not directly related to the promotion, to the New England, to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's not put on by them. It's just kind of put on by indie events in the area that come on down. TNA sometimes does a few shows around the time that they have the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame every May. So that's pretty cool. So they have TNA merchandise too. It's really, really cool. If you really take it in, if you really take a minute to take everything in, soak in all the information, if you're that big of a wrestling fan as I am, and my good friend John, who went with me, as well as my little brother, at Heel by Design is John's Twitter handle. I've talked about him here on the channel before if you want to check him out on Twitter. But with that being said, we took it all in, we soaked it all in. It takes about, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even, that's probably exaggerating a little bit, but roughly around 20 minutes if you really take a slow walk around and take it all in and see how much stuff they have, the ringside collectibles, the chairs that you take from a pay-per-view. If you ever go to a pay-per-view and you sit on one of those chairs that you can take home, they have that kind of stuff. Pay-per-view posters, you name it, they have it. It is absolutely amazing. How long it took them to get all this stuff, I have no idea. How long they've even been around, I'm not even exactly sure. But like I said before, I don't know when the Hall of Fame dates back to, but it is just so fucking cool to see all this cool merchandise that dates back decades. Even even before the 70s and 80s, when wrestling really hit its boom period, there was stuff dating back to the early 1900s from wrestlers, and it's so cool to like George Hackenschmidt and people like that. It's so cool to check out, and that you go on the upper level, and it's not just that too. They have an entire section devoted to like Japanese wrestling and the Four Horsemen, the legacy that was them, and just so much cool stuff there. It takes a while to go through, but I mean, to soak it all in is so worth it. It's absolutely amazing. And they also have a little gift shop, too, at the downstairs part of the store. You can go to the front desk, and they have a whole bunch of merchandise. So it was cool. So on our way out, we bought a T-shirt. I didn't buy much our first time around. The first time we went there in August of 2011. But I did buy a T-shirt. I don't have it with me right now. I'm on vacation, but I do have it at home. I wear it every once in a while, so that was really cool. And even that, too, they also have a pizzeria right down the street, which opens, I think, like around 3 o'clock or something. So we got pizza there the first time, which we also did the second time as well when we went. And I'll get to that in a second. But it's a nice little area that is stranded. I mean, from the looks of it, it looks like it's stranded. But it is a very nice little area, and I have said to John in the past, last time that we went, that if they were to put it in a more popular location, I mean, like if they were going to put it in New York City or something like that, where it would be seen by more people, have more eyes on it, they might get more exposure. Because when we were there was nobody else there. We were the only ones walking through. They're only open for a certain period of time on Saturdays. We had to leave almost immediately when we found out it was open from 11 to like I think 4. So and like I said, it was an hour away from the campsite that we stayed at in Saugerties. But even still, awesome experience. All the pictures that I took the first time around when we went to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame are up on my website, nexterrawrestling.weebly.com. You can check them out there. So that was a great experience. And then when we went camping again 3 years later, just a couple of weeks ago in July of 2014, we thought, I mean, even though we had gone once before, it had been 3 years, we had forgotten all about it, or not all about it, but we still wanted to, rediscover and relearn stuff. I mean, like I said to John a million times before, it just amazes me how much we learn on a day-to-day basis. We become bigger fans of wrestling as the days grow by, and you fast forward 3 years, it's amazing to think how much we've learned and how much more we appreciate wrestling in that just short period of time of 3 years. Like I said, every day we learn something new. So to go back and take in all the information all over again is absolutely astonishing. So we thought we would once again make the drive when we went camping in the same campsite this past July. So we did just that. We went in, once again took all of it in. I took a few videos. A video is actually up here in the channel if you want to go back and check it out. It's under miscellaneous videos. I posted a couple days after we went. It was that weekend, so it was pretty cool. But anyway, though, we went again. We went all over the building once again, taking pictures and stuff like that. Some of it is up on my Twitter page if you want to check it out. I didn't devote another page to it on my website, but you can check out some of the photos that I took on the on my Twitter page that I uploaded shortly thereafterwards. But anyway, though, it was awesome going back there, checking it out all over again. And I would definitely go back if we ever go camping there again. I know for a fact that we will, whether it be next summer or the summer after that or the summer after that and so on and so forth. I would absolutely go all over again just to appreciate the experience. And it was awesome, too, because once we were done walking through for a second time, going to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for a second time, we were able to talk to the guy at the front desk. Absolutely awesome guy. We were able to talk to him for about a half an hour just discussing random wrestling topics from WWE to TNA to fucking Alberto Del Rio to the Indies, Ring of Honor. So much stuff. We were just dissecting his brain, just getting his thoughts on stuff. And it was just a cool experience. It was awesome to be able to talk to him. And I figured that it was no better time than any to record the interview that we had with him, or a pseudo interview, should I say. It wasn't like a formal interview. We just kind of recorded what we were talking about, and it was kind of like a wrestling discussion, something you don't really have every day if you don't have many people in your area that are fellow wrestling fans and stuff like that. It's very rare that you run into a fellow wrestling fan this day and age, and when you do, it creates magic. You can talk about a million things. You can go on for hours, and we could have gone on for hours with this guy, but we only had about a half an hour discussion before we had to leave. But anyway, though, we were able to sit down for half an hour, talk about such a wide range of topics that added to the experience in going there for a second time that differed from the first time that we went. My full discussion with him, Mr. John Soto, is on one of the episodes of Wrestle Rant Radio. Not that week, I'm trying to think. July 22nd, I want to say, that episode of Wrestle Rant Radio, if you want to go back and check it out. Great interview, great wrestling discussion, if you want to listen to it. But we bought a shitload of merchandise this time. I bought another t-shirt, a different one this time. It says PWHF, then the year, I think 12, so they must have been around for 12 years. And the image itself, they actually have the rights to, because the guy who originally did it died. I think he trained under Picasso or something like that, or maybe Van Gogh, I forgot what he said, but they bought the rights to it. His son sold them the rights, and now they put it on all their t-shirts, so it's really, really cool. We also bought a visor as well that says Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I don't wear this very often. I actually just wore it yesterday when we went to the beach. But anyway, though, it's a really cool hat. We bought shitloads of pens and stuff like that. My friend John got a bunch of t-shirts as well. So the merchandise there is also very well priced. If you always want to pick up a souvenir for the road to commemorate your experience at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, definitely do so. But once again, we got the pizzeria. We hit the pizzeria on the way home. Great pizza there as well. Like I said before, they open around 3 o'clock. If you are to go there at the exact time. But yeah, it's an absolutely awesome experience. I cannot recommend it enough. John and I talked about it in our 2-part interview on Wrestle Rant Radio on the July 29th and August 5th editions, respectively, I believe. So you can go back and check that out if you would like. But with that being said, though, if you do live in the Northeast, if you live anywhere within the vicinity of Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, especially in New York, I would definitely make the drive. It is well worth it, especially if you appreciate wrestling history. If you're going there to expect a John Cena memorial or a tribute or something like that, you're not going to find it. It's not the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not the TNA Hall of Fame. It's not any sort of wrestling Hall of Fame you've ever come across. And there might be other Pro Wrestling Hall of Fames. I actually know for a fact that there are, but none are as legitimate as this one and all the stuff it has. The Hall of Fame is legitimate. The memorabilia is legitimate. People go there every year to commemorate the inductees that they have every May. So especially if you're not going to go there for a day to go check out the memorabilia, you might as well go for the Hall of Fame ceremony. Go check out their website. I don't know what it is exactly, but you could probably Google it and find out on their website when it is exactly, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony that they hold every single May. And it's awesome. You get to meet a few people. They have some signings every once in a while. I know for a fact that the guy, Mr. John Soto, was telling us they had Sabu there a couple of weeks before we got there, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, absolutely make the drive. It was one of the most best experiences I've ever come across when it comes to wrestling experiences. But if you're an avid wrestling fan like I am, I would absolutely make the visit to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.